The duration of future punishments. Future suffering is not arbitrary. The destiny of spirits is governed by divine justice and goodness. Punishment is not vengeance, but a consequence meant to restore. Its duration depends on how long the spirit needs to improve. As the spirit becomes better, suffering lessens and changes. When the will turns sincerely toward the good, pain gradually gives way to peace. For suffering spirits, time seems longer than on earth, because nothing interrupts awareness. The law governing the duration of punishment. Punishment can be called eternal only conditionally. If a spirit remained evil forever, it would suffer forever. But spirits are created with the power to progress, even if free will can delay that progress. So the length of suffering is tied to the spirit's own efforts. If it persists in evil, it prolongs its pain. If it turns toward repentance and renewal, relief begins. To condemn a being to endless torment for the faults of a short earthly life would contradict justice and goodness. Punishment lasts according to the effort made to reform. Repentance, progress, and hope. Some spirits delay repentance for a very long time. But to say a spirit will never improve is to deny the law of progress. Hope remains open to all. No spirit is forever shut out from return. The road back may be long and painful, but it is never closed. Exile lasts only while the spirit clings to it. Reconciliation begins as soon as it turns back. The meaning of eternal punishment. Much confusion comes from the word eternal. It often means not absolute infinity, but a duration whose end is not seen. Suffering spirits may call their pain eternal because, in their imperfect state, they cannot see when it will end. Punishment lasts as long as the evil that caused it lasts. When evil is overcome, punishment no longer has a reason to continue. So eternal punishment, rightly understood, is relative, not absolute. Evil is not eternal. God alone is eternal. Punishment as rehabilitation. The purpose of punishment is not revenge, but rehabilitation. When a spirit turns away from goodness, it suffers the natural results of that choice. Punishment awakens conscience, makes the soul feel its disorder, and urges it back to the path of salvation. Its role is medicinal, not vindictive. If punishment were eternal for a fault that is not eternal, it would lose its purpose. Through repeated existences and new chances to grow, penalties lessen as the spirit rises. Against the idea of absolute eternal damnation. The belief in absolute eternal punishment has often led to disbelief, indifference, and materialism. When people are asked to accept a future life that offends reason and moral sense, many reject religion itself. Endless, hopeless, and disproportionate punishment appears monstrous to conscience. Such a doctrine makes the Supreme Being seem harsh and implacable. It is more coherent to say that beings were created able to fail, but also given the means to learn, repair their faults, and rise again by their own efforts. Under this law, no one is without hope. Freedom may delay or hasten liberation, but mercy is never absent. Fire and torment. The images of physical fire, furnaces, and torture belong to an earlier way of religious expression. Taken literally, they no longer satisfy a thoughtful mind. The fire of punishment is better understood as moral and mental suffering. Shame, remorse, isolation, despair, and the painful sight of one's own baseness can wound the spirit more deeply than material flames. These sufferings are real, though not physical. Punishment belongs to moral law. but it lasts only as long as its cause lasts. Moral influence of a rational future. Life. People are drawn toward morality by hope of happiness and restrained from evil by fear of suffering. But if punishment is presented in a way that violates reason, it loses its power. A rational view of the future life preserves moral seriousness and trust in divine justice. Wrongdoing has consequences, and every fault requires expiation. Yet no soul is locked forever in evil or denied the chance to return. This view gives punishment real gravity while preserving hope. Suffering lasts as long as it is needed for transformation. Once the spirit is healed, punishment has done its work. Hope remains because progress remains possible. And where progress is possible, absolute eternal condemnation has no place.